Another analyst on the street. Please go and check out her channel. She's devoted, like me, to Lily Pope, although I'm not devoted to Lily Pope, because editorial series will be coming up, editorial the movie or the documentary, because the sisters just won't shut the F up. But anyway, check out this new channel, and let's continue.
Okay, let me take you guys back.
So let's go back. Now, I was waiting for the 32 seasons from Lily. As you can see, they've not materialized because, as I said before, narcissists do not respond to people who keep them on check and are completely silent. So, of course, she's moved on to new targets, from Vicky to Banigos. We are waiting for her to also attack Amy, but of course, because she's her from her tribe, she's unlikely to do that because she's a racist. But anyway, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as scholarship and research. Can I just say, Lily, I'm so happy that you have actually acknowledged me. As you said, my English, if you want to, you're not going to listen to me because of my English and you prefer to go to Netflix. Could I advise you, rather than go to Netflix, because that's not really English, go to BBC or go to Radio 104, and you can actually hear people speaking like Prince Charles, such as, Linda, how are you? Have a wonderful day. So as I said before, this is another series about Linda. We've got several in the pipeline. Today, I just want to talk a bit about Linda's background and her qualifications. We initially were planning to do a full documentary, but I think that'd be a bit too much for now. So we're just going to do bite-sized videos on this woman called Linda or Lily Pope. And let me see how far we get. So, Linda, let me just remind you once again about getting those braces done for your teeth. As I said before, Nigeria is not as backward as you think. There are lots of orthodontists or dentists within the country, even within your vicinity, as you can see here. So just type it in, orthodontist, your area, and there are lots of specialists that can actually help you get that tongue back in. I'm actually quite worried because it is actually a significant medical condition that you have. So let's continue. So today we want to talk about Linda and her background and her qualifications. So she basically says that she went to Malaysia in February of 2012. And she went there primarily for education, but also for other purposes. She wanted to make it. She wanted to make her money. She wanted to make a living. And I ask myself, is Malaysia the place that you would go to sort of make a living or have a career? For me, it doesn't really make any sense. But this is
I went 2012 February.
Fast forward to 2012, I went to Malaysia as a single lady. I won't say girl because I think then I was 25. I just finished my degree here in Nigeria.
So what degree did you do in Nigeria, Lily? I'm a bit confused because you've said that you initially did Malay education. So I guess that's just learning the language. Why would you want to learn Malaysian? I mean, it's not like French or Mandarin or German or Spanish, like universal languages. So why would you want to learn the Malay language? I mean, were you planning to spend time in Malaysia? And then what degree did you do? I mean, you're saying that you went 2012. You went at the age of 25, having finished your first degree. So what degree did you do, Lily? I'm a bit confused.
I'm going to show you guys my degree.
Now, this is the first time that Lily has actually mentioned this degree, and you would think that this is something that she would actually carry at the forefront to say, yes, I have a master in public health. And you can see here, this certificate just looks so dubious because if you look around, you can see so many, I've never seen a degree certificate printed like this before. Look at her name in the corner like an orphan, Linda Ngozi Eze. Who does that? And it's like one of one what? So it's saying 19 MPH 17091. It's a notification of her postgraduate examination result. Where's the actual certificate, Linda? You're saying here you got a Master of Public Health. You're saying you got this degree. But this Master of Public Health, I'm going to show you, it's, you can't just get this degree as a standalone. You can't do a master's as a standalone, especially in public health. You must have done a degree, an undergraduate degree before. You haven't mentioned that. It's come from the Faculty of Health Science. The date is the 30th of something. Why not show the date? Why not even show the university? Why are you so ashamed of this university? You've got this motto here, excellence in service. You've got this logo. I don't know what university this comes from. It came from October. Why hide the date? That's what I want to know, because we know 2012 you were in Malaysia saying you had a degree. And then you've got this School of Postgraduate Studies. We can't see anything at all. Who is not proud of their degree? And whoever has a degree certificate like this with your name like a little bee child in the corner certificate, it should be somewhere here in the middle. So I'm not understanding this degree that you're saying that you've got. It makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't look genuine. So I then thought to myself, okay, so where could this degree have come from? Now, if you look back at the certificate in the top right-hand corner, you can see just a little bit of the address, the email address or the website address, and it says edu.ng. Because initially I was thinking, okay, maybe she went to Malaysia, she did her studies there, and then from there she went. From there, she continued on and she did a master's. But no, this degree came from Nigeria. And we know she hasn't studied since she's come back from Malaysia. So she got this. This is the degree she's talking about that she got before she went to Malaysia in 2012. Now, it's EduNG. So these are the top universities that offer a master in public health. And if you look at the university address, let me see if I can show it to you again. You can just about work out that there is an E at the end there. Can you see that? An E there, then it's .edu.ng. So I thought, okay, what university could this possibly be that offers? So these are the main universities in Nigeria that offer a Master of Public Health. And as you can see, there are several of them, but none of them have that E at the end apart from this one. So that's the only one. The rest of them you can see there. You've got this one that you would think might be the one that Linda will go to because she's a racist and a tribalist. So she'd only want to patronize something very close to her. But that doesn't have an E at the end. And then all of the rest don't have an E at the end either. The other thing which is a bit dubious is that it's meant to have come from the Faculty of Health Science. That's what the certificate says. It says Faculty of Health Science. But actually, all of these ones are not Faculty of Health Science. They're Faculty of Health Sciences with an S at the end. So you can see, once again, it does not look genuine at all. So this is Linda for you, telling you that she now has this Masters of Public Health before she went to Malaysia, but we don't know where it's come from. The only one that maybe it could have come from is this. But then when you look at the website, the logo and the motto does not match up with that university at all. And it doesn't match up with any of the others as well. So, for me, I'm looking at this and I'm not saying that it's fake, Linda, but, just as you're asking other people to come out with their evidence, show your passport, show this. Can you come and show us that certificate? Show us the date and the university. Who is ashamed of the university that they went to? Who? For such a prestigious degree, Masters of Public Health, why not tell people where you got that degree from? And the date. Why hide the date? Why hide the university? You can look at here, all of those universities that I had in that table, none of them match that logo that you've got. So this is the logo you've got there, Excellence in Service. None of them. This is the nearest university to you where you're living at the moment. I thought, okay, maybe it's come from there. And when I typed in Excellence in Service, this university actually came up. But you can see the logo is completely different. Absolutely completely different. This is the one that has the E at the end before the edu.ng, and that one you can see the logo is completely different. So I'm just not seeing where you got that degree from, but you know definitely you got it from Nigeria. You didn't get it from Malaysia. So can you come and explain, where you actually got that degree from? Now, I put this into an image search in Google, thinking that maybe I'll find a certificate there. But of course, it said it was similar to maybe University of Abuja, but then no, because the logo and the motto still don't match. So this looks like it's let me not use the word F, but it doesn't look genuine, Linda. So if you're so proud of this degree, why hide it? Why say you've never said anything on the street before? Why hide it? Is it a degree that you bought? I just don't understand why you'd hide something like this, but you're happy to talk about a diploma. The diploma is one of the lowest things that you can actually get, or a certificate in Malay, but you won't talk about this. Now, I went to your nearest university because I thought, okay, maybe it's come from that university where you live. But the other very strange thing with a master's in public health, you can't do a master's without doing a degree, an undergraduate degree first. You can't. And not only can you not do that master's without doing an undergraduate degree first, but you must have done a degree related to health, public health. So it might have been something to do with medicine, nursing, biological science, lab sciences. You've never been a science student. So what degree, what undergraduate degree did you do that qualified you to then go on to do a master's in public health? Now, you were 25 when you went to Malaysia, so it could be that, yes, you started your degree at 18, which is traditional. You did a degree for 3 years in something to do with science. Maybe you're a doctor, Linda. Please come and tell us. And then after that, you now did 2 months of this master's in public health, and then from there you went to Malaysia. But it still doesn't make any sense, because you would have said that. That's something, because you're such a bragger, you would have said that. So you haven't mentioned that at all. So I'm not sure how you can just end up with a master's in public health with no undergraduate experience, especially in a health related degree. It makes no sense. So I would ask you to come out and maybe clarify that a bit more. I'm not going to say that you're lying. Just come out and give us more information. And another thing that you say, which is so strange, is, you wanted to cover up certain things on the degree. As I said to you before, who covers up things on the degree? Why would you do that? Why would you want to cover up the university that you got your degree from, the date? Why would you want to do that? Unless you're scared that people are actually going to check. And another thing you said, which was so... I just thought to myself, this woman, you're a bit mad. I need to cover up my passport number. Who puts a passport number on a degree certificate? You call it a certificate. Who puts a passport number on a degree? I might have given you some allowance if you said, okay, this was in Malaysia, this was a master's in Malaysia, and they wanted to identify that it was you, so they put your passport number there. But it's clear that this degree, as you're calling it, came from Nigeria. So why would why would they put a passport number? I've never seen passport numbers on degrees, even in Nigeria. Nigeria is not backwards. Nigeria is, one of the most educated, it's got one of the top universities when it comes to black people in the world. We're not that backwards. So what do you mean passport number on a degree?
So I'm going to be editing some parts. Like, I will leave my name. What again will I leave? I will cover my number.
Look at her looking up into the sky. You know that you're bloody lying.
I will cover, what again? Some important information, Shasha. My passport number.
I mean, passport. Who puts a passport number on a degree? Like I said before, why not just show the degree that you got this from? It could be that maybe the university name's at the top there, but there's no certificate I've seen that your name will be there like a little bee child in the middle, right at the edge of the certificate. And then you've got this thing here. It makes absolutely no sense. And why not just show us where you got this degree from and the date?
That one, I have it.
So, you're saying now that you're a master in public health. You've got a master. Do you know what that means, Linda, to have a master's in public health? I mean, of course, it's not specific health. It's not like the doctors that you're calling pigs and you're saying that they're scammers and everything else. But you feel that you're on par with them. You have a master's in public health. That comes with some degree of knowledge. Like I said, you should have done an undergraduate degree in some kind of science, health-related subject. You haven't done that. But you're saying you're a master in health. I don't believe you're a master in health, because some of the things that you've come out with show that you are... I don't even know how to describe your level of ignorance. Your level of ignorance is just astounding.
Down here, they talk anyhow. I have a profession that I have never shared on the streets of YouTube.
Yes, tell us about the profession. We know that you go around, you're so braggadocious, you're so narcissistic that you always offer your opinion to people when it's not wanted. And because you're so overly confident, these people actually believe what you're saying. I mean, your sister... in Abuja came out talking some rubbish about how her baby was standing up, which she means, the baby was breech because of the stresses she went through. Stress does not cause a breech presentation, but I believe that, she started saying that rubbish because she's been speaking to you and you told her that nonsense just to get her to come out and start talking crap with her sisters, that, oh yes, it's because of this, that's why your baby was breech. Absolute rubbish. So you're out there spreading this so-called public health knowledge with a fake certificate.
We discussed that matter. Even when we reached that hotel room that day, we still discussed them. where she dey tell me her own sister experience. And she dey tell me, say, her sister too tried the same thing, it worked for her.
And then, as well as giving this unsolicited advice, you're doing really dangerous things. Now, if you want to do anything with your children, that's absolutely fine. If you want to be dangerous with your children, that's fine. But, you have a platform and people are watching you, so on your platform, you are weaning babies. You're giving them solids at 2 months old. Who does that? Do you know the damage you can do, apart from the fact that you're force feeding those children and they're going to end up having big tongues coming forward like you? The risks to their chest, the risk to their breathing, to their speech is so high. But this could be just because you are not really a public health specialist, because there's no way you'd be a master's in public health and you wouldn't know the dangers of these things you're doing. Weaning these babies at 2 months old, giving them solid. Absolute rubbish. So you're doing things like this, and then you're talking nonsense about bow legs and, let me not use the P word, olosho, So you're now saying that there's a relationship between bow legs and whatever. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Where do you come up with this nonsense? And the thing is, you don't even know what bow legs. Do you actually know what bow legs look like? Do you not? Have you seen real bow legs? No, because you're not a public health specialist. You don't have a master's.
She started in the early days of her life, from 12 years. Na bow leg, which is a bow leg, refused to now straighten till today. Your permanent bow leg because of always opening legs.
So, Lily, you're saying you got this master's in public health. We've worked out now. Definitely, you got it in Nigeria before you traveled. You definitely got it before you traveled.
I didn't do youth service because when I got back, I had entered the age. At that time, if you reach 30 years, we know, it no be secret. You know if you do youth service again for Nigeria, right?
But we didn't do masters. We did just degree, diploma and degree. So the first year diploma, at the end of the year, to continue being legal in the state, I entered into the university.
So we know that you went to Malaysia in 2012. You went there saying that you've got this this master's in public health, which it doesn't look like you've got that master's in public health. There's absolutely no way. Come and show us the certificate. So then you went to Malaysia. You're saying that you did 1 year of a diploma, but somewhere else you're saying it took you 2.5 years to do that diploma. And then after that, you're saying you then did a degree. What I want to know is that somebody who's really highly educated, why would you go to Malaysia in the first place? You're saying that Malaysia is a place where they don't allow you to work, whether it's in health, or in care. There are no jobs there. Why would you go with a master's in public health when you could have worked for an NGO, you could have gone international, you could have maybe converted it, come to the UK, gone to the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. You could have done so many things without a degree, but you chose to go to Malaysia. Why? You downgraded yourself to go and do a diploma in Malay education. Why would you do that? Yeah, why go?
I was opportunity to study here in Malaysia, and I did business administration, which is diploma in business management. Yes.
But what did you actually study? Because I'm getting confused, because you're saying you did this diploma in business management, but then the same time you're saying that you did Malay education.
Initially, when I visited Malaysia, they were doing language school where you will be learning Malaysian language. You will do that for 2.5 years, and then you will enter your diploma. You will do diploma for 3 years or 2.5 years, and then you enter degree.
So what did you actually study? I'm just really, really confused. And but the main issue for me is that why would somebody who's so educated go to Malaysia of all places to do what? To go and waste. I think you spent about 7 years there. I think you were there from 2012, and then you said you left in 2019. So 7 years in Malaysia doing what? A diploma. Of all the countries you could have gone to, you went to Malaysia to go and do a diploma.
A lot of people don't take their studies serious in Malaysia because they're just using it to gain the papers.
So why do you want to gain papers? And then you're saying that people can't gain papers in Malaysia anyway. So what actually were you doing in Malaysia?
So I moved to Malaysia to further my education and also search for greener pasture.
So, you were studying. How were you able to work? Because you also said that, it was very difficult to study. If you were studying, you couldn't work But then you were saying that you had this business.
Student visa is what literally everybody in Malaysia is using. That was the visa I used throughout my stays in Malaysia. You continuously will have paper for so many years in Malaysia. But we didn't do masters. We did just degree, diploma and degree. So the first year diploma, at the end of the year, to continue being legal in the state, I entered into the university. And immediately I finished my degree. That was 2019.
So the question is, why are you going to Malaysia in the first place? Because, you're setting yourself up as this outstanding citizen, calling everybody else out. But you went there completely legally as with a master's in public health, and you went there to go and do a diploma, and you were there for 7 years. We all know what's going on. People are just being politically correct. They don't want to call you out. But if you continue to come out the way that you're coming out, we will continue to analyze you like this. What did you go to do in Malaysia for 7 years?
It's going to be very difficult, because if you are to work here in Malaysia, you will get a job of, yes, it's 7 to 9, a job of 7 to 9, and on every Monday till Friday. You won't have the opportunities to study anymore. If you're studying, you are strictly studying. There is no job inclusive, because there is no space or no gap for that time to fag or wag the boat.
So, were you in Malaysia to study? As you said, people don't go to Malaysia, but people are just there for the papers. People are just there to prolong their stay. Why are you prolonging your stay in Malaysia of all the countries you could have gone to with your master's in public health? Yeah. You then said that you were there and you set up a restaurant business. But on the same hand, you're saying that it's impossible for you to work when you're studying, because the study takes up all your time. You went from a diploma into a degree.
What is that business that we did? We paid every taxes as business owners in Malaysia.
So basically, you're saying that you did a restaurant business and you paid all of it.
Because I was doing restaurants.
Now, in the UK, everybody knows that there are certain businesses that you will open, and they're opened not for the business, they're opened to make sure no questions are asked. So at the end of the day, businesses such as restaurants, especially fast food restaurants, barbershops, car washes, they're all there because you can basically just put cash through them, and the cash is not traceable. Yeah, you can have a completely empty restaurant and people can, you can easily cook the books and they say, yes, the restaurant did really, really well, and you just pay as much tax as you need to pay. But meanwhile, there's something going on behind. And I suspect that's what you actually did there. And that's the only thing I think that can explain how you actually managed to get that money together to build that restaurant, or to build that mansion, as you call it, within 3 months. So, everybody knows about restaurants. It almost always involves cash. And, at the end of the day, it's something that doesn't raise awareness, because at the end of the day, nobody really knows what's going on there. You can easily say that the cash came in from the restaurant, whereas it came from somewhere else. So basically, I suspect that's what you were doing in that restaurant. I don't believe it was a legitimate restaurant. I'm not saying that you didn't serve any food or anything there, but it was just a way of ensuring that the amounts of cash coming through, you could account for where that cash was coming from, that you made so much money from that restaurant, from the cash. So don't come and sit here and start telling us about how, restaurants make so much money and that's how you manage to get that money to build. I think you said each of your mansion, you've got 2 duplexes there. You said each of them were at least 100. Is it 100? Is it 100,000? Yeah, 100,000. Yeah, 100,000. Yeah, I think $100,000 each. Yeah. So you said that you got that within the 7 years from that restaurant. So, at the end of the day, even the Malaysian government, they talk about, how is this money passing through all of these businesses. So don't tell me that at the end of the day, you just did that restaurant business, and your husband just did a few car parts and then you managed to get that thing. Everything begins to make sense now. Why would the Masters of Public Health go and downgrade herself into Malaysia for a diploma and stay there for 7 years, just renewing the visa for what? And then saying that she's doing a restaurant business. It makes absolutely no sense. And then this is the reason why you kept emphasizing the fact that, yes, I got a certificate of conduct, and it proves I pay taxes. Well, let me tell you, a certificate of conduct is not proof of taxes. It's not given to you to prove that you paid any taxes. You are saying that because you want people to believe that, yes, you had this business, you got money coming through, you paid all the taxes on that business, so therefore it's legitimate. You know, you're not fooling anybody, Linda. You're not fooling anyone.
And I made sure that as I was leaving Malaysia, I went to the immigration and I collected what they call certificate of good conduct.
So, you know, this is another thing which seems a bit dubious. You know, you're saying that when you left, as you were leaving, you went there to go and get it to collect, which suggests that you collected it while you were in Malaysia, not when you went back to Nigeria. I know you can get a certificate of good conduct if you go into the website. You can go via the Nigerian embassy, and then they can apply to Malaysia, and they can send it to you. You get it in 1 to 2 months. But you here specifically, you say that you collected it. You collected it. You went there as you were leaving 2019. You collected that certificate of good conduct. And the reason why this is so important, because on the letter that you have, I
took it from Malaysia myself.
Shows your
as you said, you took it from Malaysia yourself.
certificate of good conduct that will put up that you've been paying your taxes.
It's not about taxes, Linda. So this is an example of a certificate of good conduct that you actually get from inside Malaysia. You can actually see the seal there. You can actually see the seal and how it's written. Now, of course, it's very easy to copy this, but you can't copy the seal, you can't copy the stamp, and you can't definitely copy that it's actually come from the embassy. And if you just look on Google, you can actually see examples of the certificate of conduct. And you can see more or less it's always the same. It more or less is always the same seal in the same way, the same type of colouring. So you got your certificate of conduct, you said, in Malaysia before you left. You collected it yourself specifically. Yeah. And once again, I have to say this seems a bit dubious to me, because it makes absolutely no sense. Because if you look at your certificate of conduct, you can see here, it actually came from Abuja. It came from Nigeria itself. I don't see, once again, why you need to hide anything on this, apart from maybe the passport number, but you shouldn't have to really hide anything else. So you said that you got this as you left, but you can see here there's a date there. You've hidden the date, but it's in 2024. But you're saying that you collected it in Malaysia. So how does that make sense?
And I made sure that as I was leaving Malaysia, I went to the immigration and I collected what they call certificate of good conduct. I took it from Malaysia myself.
So you took it yourself. So what's real, Linda? Because at this point, we can see you're bringing out all of this so-called evidence and proof that you can't even spell properly, but you're bringing out evidence and proof. But evidence and proof you're bringing up, your bureaus are just accepting it without analysing whether it's right or not. I would suggest don't bring out any more evidence or proof unless you want it to be scrutinised, like I've done it today.
Have papers in Malaysia, we'll go and print Jalan, and then use that erase pen and put their own passport number, their own name, and then print it as Jalan.
So this is another video of Linda, and I think the next video, especially based on the latest videos that she's done, we are going to analyze her lies. We're going to maybe go a bit deeper into her husband, because she won't stop talking about people's husbands. And we are actually going to go full throttle into starting this complete documentary about Linda, followed by editorial. I think this woman just thinks that we're stupid. She thinks that we're foolish. We don't really know what we're doing. She thinks we're not able to critically analyze. As she said, she's very proud of her content. She won't take anything down, which for me is very, very good. So we will continue to analyze, and we will continue to make a case for this woman being a narcissist and having narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder. So let's wait for the next video. In the meantime, Linda, continue to come out and to give us content to analyze.